Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to Soul Place, the path of knowledge, devotion, and action. I will now explain how the law of spiritual gravity is applied to different paths that lead to God, such as knowledge, devotion, and action. Depending on how you practice these paths, you will be influenced either by the spiritual realm or the material world. Knowledge. The path of knowledge, also known as reason, involves acquiring theoretical knowledge. However, if you limit yourself to theoretical knowledge alone, you will merely become a parrot, able to repeat profound phrases and be perceived as knowledgeable. But your knowledge will lack personal realization or spiritual growth. This intellectual approach keeps the ego attached to the physical aspects of the mind and its connection to the material world. Theoretical knowledge alone cannot provide you with true understanding of God. Therefore, it is not wise to invest excessive time in theory. Those who do so often become lost in the maze of reasoning and never move beyond mere theories. By constantly reasoning and analyzing, they fail to perceive the truth as truth transcends reason. Consequently, many intellectuals find themselves trapped by their own conclusions. If you employ your power of reason solely for the purpose of making money and pursuing material wealth, once again you will be drawn towards the material realm. Therefore, the spiritual masters advise us not to utilize the reasoning bestowed upon us by God to become increasingly entangled in the complexities of the material world and the ego-driven limitations of the intellect. Instead, with the faculty of discrimination, we are encouraged to diligently study and apply the truth until it becomes an intuitive realization within us. As you nurture your intuition, you will sense the presence of God and His all-knowing nature residing within you. This is known as esoteric reason or Jnana Yoga. Devotion. The path of devotion is characterized by pure and unwavering love for God. When you possess such pure devotion, you will experience a magnetic pull towards God and ultimately find Him. However, even in this path, there exist two opposing forces that pull you in different directions: devotion to God and devotion to material desires. Death itself serves as a reminder that it is foolish to be enticed by material attractions. The miser exemplifies devotion to material possessions, remaining attached to them until the very end, despite the inevitability of leaving everything behind. Even in their final moments, they remain devoted to material things, just as a yogi remains devoted to God. However, the yogi engages in reasoning and contemplation, recognizing that matter is external and the ownership of material objects is temporary and fleeting. The question, why should I concentrate on transient and insignificant things while excluding the eternal? Devotion to God alone is the path to everlasting fulfillment. The consciousness of an ordinary worldly person is limited as they are primarily devoted to their physical body, immediate surroundings, and their family. Their attachment is centered around the idea of us for and no more, prioritizing their close circle. However, it would be more beneficial for them to use the affection they have for their family as a stepping stone to expand their love. The one extends their love not only to their own family but to all beings. They are moving closer to God. By using the love originally reserved for the family and directing it towards all beings, one aligns themselves with the gravitational pull towards God. To achieve this, it is essential to reduce the strong attachment to family, possessions, and all material things, and instead start rediscovering and expressing the omnipresence that has been lost. By diminishing the consciousness that is solely focused on family and property, one can begin to manifest the divine presence within and extend love universally. While loving God through devotion, it is important to avoid getting caught up solely in emotional fervor. This can sometimes occur along the path of devotion. It has been surprising to witness the presence of holy rollers in various countries, a phenomenon that originated in certain sects in India. However, when devotion is expressed primarily through outward physical emotions, the pure essence of love can become diluted by the external manifestation of energy in the muscles. When the body and mind are drawn towards God, a sense of calmness and serenity prevails. The consciousness and life force become internalized as one turns inwardly towards God. True devotion is like a plummet that sinks deep into the ocean of perceiving God. This is known as Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion. It emphasizes a profound and a heartfelt connection with God, transcending mere external display of emotion. Action. The path of action appeals to those individuals who naturally possess an inclination for being active. They derive joy from engaging in work and serving others. However, the direction in which you are pulled depends on the underlying intention behind your actions. If your work is solely driven by self-interest seeking material gain for yourself, then you are gravitating towards matter. But when you perform your actions with the mindset of doing everything for the sake of God, you are drawn towards God. When your activities revolve around accumulating wealth for personal and selfish purposes or any endeavors driven by self-centered motives, you move farther away from God. This is how most people channel their energy, focusing on attachments and desire for material possessions. However, the moment your active energy is directed towards seeking God, you start moving closer to Him. Here, once again, there is a constant tug of war between the forces of God and matter. One side urges you to accumulate wealth for personal satisfaction, while the other side encourages you to find fulfillment in seeking God, serving Him, and utilizing monetary success to uplift others spiritually, mentally, and physically. When your actions are driven by a desire for material gain, you are succumbing to the gravitational pull of matter. However, when you act for the sake of God, your actions align with the gravitational pull of God. If your desires for material possessions and for God are equal, you may find yourself in a state of relative stagnation. However, if your desire for God becomes stronger and surpasses your desire for material things, then your attachment to material possessions will naturally diminish. Practicing spiritual activities that involve both meditation and working with the mindset that every action is dedicated to God is known as Karma Yoga. When you experience the eternal bliss of God during meditation, you transcend the limitations of the physical body and become infused with enthusiasm to work for Him. True love for God cannot coexist with laziness. Those who meditate and genuinely love God are always actively engaged in His service and in serving others. Please like the video and subscribe the channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Thank you.